Hello and welcome to 7 News. I'm Jake Douglas and tonight we have a 7 News exclusive interview with Maria Antoinette. That'll be right after the break.
Billy, use the cleaner.
Oh. Touchdown.
Yeah, it only works with Doritos.
Why only Doritos?
You ask too many questions, Billy.
We're back. We'll cross over to Jake now, who's with Maria. Are you there, Jake?
Yeah, Jake, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yep, we're good to go. So, Maria, how are you?
Oh yeah, I'm very good. Better now that I'm alive.
I know what you mean, but enough chit-chat, let's get down to the questions. Maria, you were really still quite young when you married King Louis, weren't you?
Yeah, I was only 14 when I married King Louis, who back then was just Louis. But now that I think of it, I was really young.
Wow, but how did you get two together?
Well, I didn't actually have anything to do with it. It was arranged by our parents to help bring our two countries together.
Now, tell me, Maria, is it true that you never actually said, let them eat cake?
That's correct. I didn't actually say that, and two of Louis' aunts were also credited with saying it before it was given to me. It's almost like a game of pass on the saying, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but now to a more serious question. I heard that your father Francis I passed away in 1765. How did this affect your family and yourself?
Well, that actually had a huge effect on the family and me, not just because it was Dad. My mum and brother then had to co-rule the empire just to help the diplomatic relationships with France. This is also, in a way, why I was married to King Louis. It was just to strengthen the relationship between our countries.
That's amazing, Maria. Okay, so there were a few rumours going around that you have been having a gambling problem, and what do you have to say about that?
Well, Jake, I used to party a lot, and I even had a reputation for it. I used to go to casinos and spend huge amounts of money on games, which I'm not proud of.
Is it true that your mum even wrote you some letters about that once she heard those rumours?
Yeah, Mum was a bit worried about me, which is true.
Okay. Now, Maria, I heard that you had a big wedding in the Palace of Versailles, but a massive mob gathered outside, and apparently 32 people died. Is this true?
Yes, we had a wonderful wedding. It was a pretty big celebration. It was very sad, but yes, 32 people died while trying to help us celebrate our wedding in the Palace of Versailles.
Now, Maria, your trial started on the 14th of October 1793, and you were executed 2 days later on the 16th. Do you think it was a fair trial?
Well, to be honest, I don't think it was a very fair trial for a series of crimes. Well, to be honest, I don't think it was very fair. I was tried for a series of crimes, and I tried to defend myself, but they had already decided I was guilty, and I was put to the guillotine on the 16th.
Wow. When the Parisian women stormed Versailles, what did you do afterwards?
Well, our family was then forced to move to Tuileries under the watch of the National Guard for protection.
Now, what happened when you tried to escape from Paris?
Well, we tried to escape to join Austria, but we were caught and arrested in Varennes and were taken back to Paris after a week.
When you were held captive in the Temple prison, how were the living conditions?
Well, they were very poor to say the least, and we were being held captive because of the high tensions that were surrounding us, because everyone wanted us dead.
Now, the final question, Maria. When the National Convention took over, leading the country, what happened to your husband?
King Louis and the monarchy's powers were abolished in 1792, so he didn't really have anything else to do. So he was then imprisoned, and then he was finally executed on January 21st in 1793, which was a very sad day for me.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, Maria Antoinette. That was perfect.